Hi, I'm Dr. Goodine, a cosmetic surgeon practicing in Ridgewood, New Jersey. I'm going to help you figure out, before you even come in to see the doctor, how much it's going to cost for your Coolsculpting. At least you get a good estimate before you come in. We have a nice Coolsculpting model to help demonstrate this, because it's very visual. It's hard to describe over the phone. So this person, the first thing you have to determine is, where do you want to kill the fat? Where do you want the fat gone? And this person decides she wants it from her belly and her hips. So I marked what it would take to do that with Coolsculpting, because everyone wants to just freeze it one time and it's gone. We don't have an applicator big enough to fit the whole thing. This is the size of the standard applicator. It's called the Cool Advantage applicator, and this is what it kills. It kills what is the size of a stick of butter, because that's what fits in there. And so I drew sticks of butter on her, perfectly drawn with slight overlap, because it doesn't freeze on the very edges, because this is plastic. It's only metal where it freezes. So the actual part where it is freezing is a little smaller than these drawings. That's why you're seeing the overlap. You can see here, that's where it's going to freeze, that's where the fat's going to die, and that's about how much fat. So we purposely have this kind of overlap so that it's totally smooth when we're done. And that's how it's done with the Cool Advantage applicator. So how many cycles is it going to take? Well, you can see, you just see right on there. Each one is going to take 35 minutes. It's followed by a 2-minute massage. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each one taking 35 minutes followed by a 2-minute massage. And then the fat's going to be all gone. Now, when do you decide to come back? Some people do Coolsculpting more than once. In her case, she doesn't have to come back. And what's the reason for that? Because the amount of fat that she has is smaller than what fits in the applicator, so all her fat is going to fit into the applicator. It's all going to die. If it goes in, it will freeze to death. It will die. If it doesn't go in, it won't. So what happens if you have a little more fat? Let's say instead of having just 3/4 inch of fat, which pinches at 1.5 inches or less, let's say you had a little more fat. And so let's say you had 1.5 inches of fat like this, and when you pinch it, it's 3 inches of fat. So now when you do the Coolsculpting, and you did the Coolsculpting alone, the 3 inches of fat doesn't fit, because it just told you 1.5 inches is all that fits. So what's going to happen instead is the fat is going to sort of divide itself in half. It's going to go like this, it's going to go like that, and only this outer layer of fat's going to fit. That's going to die. So you're going to kill half your fat, and this is going to be unfrozen because it never fit in the freezer, so it's not going to die. So then you're going to come back, and about 2 months later, this is all the fat you have, that's going to fit in there, it's going to die. So if you just get Coolsculpting alone, you have to pay for the 7 cycles, and another 7 cycles later, so it's twice the money. Let's say it was $800 a cycle, it's $5,600. You don't want to come back 2 months later to pay another $5,600 just because you had a little more fat. You want it all gone. Now what happens if I told you there's a way to get rid of all that fat, even if it's 3-inch pinch, all in one treatment? Most places can't do it. It's called Fire and Ice Body Contouring. What is Fire and Ice? First, you heat it up. It's very simple. I have lots of different fire ones. This is the ultrasound fat cavitation. It takes about 22 minutes. We treat this area, do the same thing on the back for another 8 minutes aside. It pokes hole in the fat with lots of holes. I'll tell you why that's important. And then we do radio frequency body contouring. This one's a little hotter, a little warmer. The hotter it is, the more holes we're going to poke in the fat. This is 12 minutes on the front, 12 minutes on the back. So why are these holes in the fat so important? Well, it turns out if you poke holes in the fat, wonderful things are going to happen. When this thing sucks, because this fat has holes in it, it's going to wring it out like a sponge. The fat's going to leak out of your body's going to absorb the fat, but what's going to happen is they're going to fit in all 3 inches of fat, because it wrung out just like a sponge. All the fat cells are going to die, all with one treatment, because you Fire and Ice body contour. Most places can't do it, that's why Fire and Ice is better. So now, for let's say $800 times 7, you pay $5,600, you're done, you don't do it again, you don't have to come back for another 4 hours, one and done. That's only with Fire and Ice. Otherwise with Coolsculpting, you're coming back twice. And let's just say you're even more unfortunate, you even had more fat than that, and you had this much, so your pinch thickness was even worse. Then you're coming back 3 times. Each time you're killing just that amount of fat that I showed you. So the first time you're killing that much fat, the second time you're killing that much fat, and the third time you're killing that much fat again. All right, let's say you're unfortunate enough to have that much fat where it's like 4.5 inches. Probably going to have to come back a second time, but some people take the heat really well, can even fit that much, but that's unlikely. So just think you have to come back if it's 4.5 inches. What's going to happen is the first time, if you do the Fire and Ice, I'm going to get the good 3 inches, which is way more. And then the second time you come back, we get what's left over. So with Fire and Ice, you may still have to come back a second time if you happen to have 4.5 inches of fat. But if you got only 3 inches of fat, you don't have to come back. And that's what most people will find. So if you have any further questions, consultation's always free. I'll tell you exactly how many cycles you need and how many times you need to come. And how much is per cycle? The more cycles you buy, the cheaper it is per cycle. And I always give discounts for modeling just the body. No one's going to know what it is, or you can even get more if you're a body model like her, and you're even showing your face. You get 30% off the procedure. And I'll show you videos in the future which will talk about lower body cool sculpting as well. Thank you.